You heard or seen this recent news about the football player Kyren Lacy? Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I started digging around to try and understand what happened and what this recent news is.
So I do want to. So first off, of course, rest in peace to this young man. And of course, we talked about it when he did take his life in April. We did speak on it. So of course, over the weekend, his attorney. He went ham, and he got the video footage of the actual car accident to show that this young man was nowhere near there. He went and got the body cam footage of the police officers sitting here coercing one of the witnesses to change their story and sit here and write and say they seen something that they didn't see. So I do want to play. I'm gonna allow her to sit here and do it just because she's just one of my favorite people on TikTok. I feel like she do a great job explaining some of these stories that got to do with of course with lawyers, with law stuff. So I do want to play her clip of her explaining it, and then we can kind of get into the conversation, especially from the parenting sake, because I mean we kind of talked on it. Of course, I mean that happened in April. We talked about it during the draft win because he didn't even get a chance to go to the draft.
Is all about. So if you're looking for a Kyren Lacy explainer video so you can get context on what this viral video that's going around really means, I got you. So this is 24-year-old Kyren Lacy. He was born and raised in Louisiana and quickly became a football star. He played in high school and actually had offers to play at a couple colleges, but ultimately decided to stay in his home state of Louisiana and attend the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. After 2 years there, he transferred to Louisiana State University, where he continued to play until he graduated. Now, following college, Kyren was well on his way to playing in the NFL. However, 2 days before entering the draft, Kyren was involved in a car accident. At least that's what the state police said. So on December 17, 2024, Kyren was driving his green Charger down a 2-lane road in Louisiana headed to practice. According to state police, as he was driving, he crossed the center line, meaning he's now driving on the wrong side of the road, so that he could pass 4 cars that were in front of him. Now, I'm not a lawyer or an artiste, but bear with me because you really need to see these visuals to understand the story. So this green car is Kyren Lacy. And again, this is what police said happened. So Kyren wants to get in front of the 4 cars that are in front of him. So he crosses the center line to get over. But do you see the gold truck here? When Kyren is on the wrong side of the road, the driver of that gold truck sees Kyren coming towards him. So he hits his brake and veers to the right. Now with the gold truck on the side of the road, that leaves this white Kia, which was behind the gold truck. And I've put a number 2 on this Kia because this car is a key player in the story, and I want to make sure we're all clear who I'm referencing. So white Kia is vehicle number 2, which was behind the gold truck. So gold truck on side of the road, and vehicle number 2 is now in the direct path of Kyren Lacy's green Charger. The driver of vehicle number 2 panics and takes a hard swerve over to the other lane to avoid colliding with Kyren. But when she swerves into that other lane, she's now facing oncoming traffic herself, and she ends up crashing head on with a car that was traveling in that lane. A passenger in the car that she collides with is 78-year-old Herman Hall, and he was injured from the crash and ended up passing away as a result of his injuries. And according to police, after Kyren causes this chaotic and tragic accident, he flees the scene and never stops to render aid or see if anyone's okay. So that's the story. And again, this happened on December 17, 2024. And by January 12, 2025, police had identified Kyren Lacy as the driver of the green Charger, and he was then arrested and charged with negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle. Kyren was released on bond, but from January 2025, when he was arrested, until April, Kyren is carrying around the weight of this tragedy. He's also facing the fact that his hopes and dreams of becoming an NFL player are slowly dwindling away. Some of the teams that were interested in him are now asking questions about this case, and the internet has completely spiraled with the story of this NFL hopeful who is now accused of homicide. And
real quick, after we play this, I love when white people do their own get back in their own licks, because there is, of course, because I follow news, but I don't follow college sports as much. But of course, I can and this is one of the reasons why, like, I tell people all the time. So you if you like stuff and you like certain athletes, or just like even music people anyway, ride hard for the people you like and voice your opinion via social media, because something like this is like, and like I said, it's a white dude. I'm gonna play after we finish that, and we can kind of talk about the parents and part of this whole situation, and talk on the story. It's a white dude who did a video, and he kind of was calling out all of the sports pages and stuff who kind of, especially, man, they was going I'm talking about Twitter was torching fucking Bleacher Report, but Bleacher Report is, again, that ain't nothing but some fucking mag ass niggas just like realistically like super wild, get racist jokes off, but kind of try to put it in the name of like, oh, I'm just critiquing athletes and this is just some sports shit. But if you listen to any of them niggas at I said Bleacher Report, not Bleacher Report, Barstool, they kind of be getting a lot of racist shit off, and they kind of hide a lot of it behind like jokes of just like they just doing different types of forms of sports commentating. But a lot of them, man, they was on this young boy so fucking hard. I didn't know, like I said, because I'm like when I be on like college sports be on the same time as professional sports, so I feel like there's kind of, you almost got to really be into college sports to kind of even know a lot of the information or know who be talking shit about some of these players and this, that, and the third. But a lot of people brought that up. Like I seen a dude from on Barstool who tried to apologize, and I played in that clip when I played a white dude, he kind of went ham on him. But I'm saying them niggas was killing that nigga in the comment section. But it's just still like, it's like, you fuck the comment section. It's like, y'all niggas could have been some of the reason why he committed suicide. And when I seen that, I'm just like, damn, because these, like, I know it's easy and we always be like, hey, you could just get off the internet, but it's just like, bro, I'm a kid. I be on the fucking internet. Like, I'm like, you want, like, they not grown. And I think a lot of times when we say that, especially on here, when we say you can just get off the internet, but it's like, yeah, it's easy to say that when you're in your fucking 30s and you're in your 40s, but it's way hard. I can't imagine trying to tell a fucking 20-year-old to get off of the internet. Like, that to me, like, that's their whole, like, you gotta think about it. Somebody that's 20 years old, they grew up on Instagram.
And that was out the whatchamacallit, right? Rice situation.
Yeah, it was. But again, just perfect example though. Just think about what we're saying though. It's because you talking about age. Think about how Slim for the Raiders. Is that his last name? Is Rice? That's what you talking about? Are you talking about somebody completely different?
No,
That's my point. So just think about it. That's why sometimes
you talking about Ruggs.
Yeah, so Ruggs, but he killed the woman and her dog, and he kind of realistically, he ain't give a fuck. He about to come home. He literally about to come home. If he don't come home in 2025, he's coming like spring of 2026. He about to come home. That nigga didn't do no time. So, but again, that comes with just age, because it's easier for an older person to kind of be able to deal with that, and somebody who's already up millions of dollars to kind of be able to just like, all right, this shit a slap on the wrist. I'm cool. I could do this little jail time in Vegas and whatever and keep it moving. And that's basically what he did. But even fucking Rice that played for Kansas City is, again, you talking about somebody a little bit older, car accident, nobody didn't die in his, but still, it's just like it's when you're older, you can kind of deal with the criticism a lot differently compared to when you're young. And that's why even for somebody like, that's why I go so hard for Angel Reese or even for Shador, these still are fucking kids, dog. You talking about kids who got millions of people who, and a lot of these conversations and these pieces don't have nothing to do with these people as athletes, because even the Bleacher Report, John, when I played the white dude, and he'll tell you like, niggas watch when white people make mistakes and how y'all critique them, because the white dude for not Bleacher Report, I keep saying Bleacher Report, Barstool, but the nigga sit here and it was like some shit with one of them little fraternities or something, and he was like, and people pulled this up and was like, so you gave this fraternity time to figure out whatever they was going through. You was waiting for the police report, but soon as this boy got into this accident, you sit here, or you thought he got into this accident, you sit here and jump the gun, and we would sit here calling him all types of whatever the case may be, because this is still the same young man after the car accident, and he scored a touchdown in like a big game, and he did the little gun jump, and niggas was like, oh, he shouldn't be doing that gun celebration, and this after he didn't kill somebody. What the Again, like I said, I'm finished playing her Joan, and we can get into that again. That's why, again, but I'm just telling y'all, please, I understand black people sometimes we try too cool and don't be wanting to be on social media and don't really be like, but bro, especially for these younger athletes and the older we get, like from the Bronny James, the Shadors, these is black people. So I was the only three young black people I'm talking about who get overly critiqued on social media. Angel Reese, Shador, and Bronny, like, bro, if you're not a fan of them, cool, do your thing. But I think sometimes again, I always say this. The shit that you'll turn a blind eye to today, you never know if this is your kid. And I understand some of y'all kids ain't gonna be shit, and you already kind of know that, so you don't give a fuck about some of this shit. So you don't feel like, hey, I ain't gotta take up for none of them. My kids just gonna work at McDonald's. Cool, whatever the fuck, knock yourself out. But all I'm just sitting here saying, if you have some compassion and you feel like some younger person in your life may be successful one day, you want to already set a path and a trend for standing up and for sitting here protecting young black people via social media, because it be motherfuckers on social media who hide behind, oh, they play a sport, so I can be racist because these people play sports. It ain't really, they try to see and say, oh, I just don't like them because they bad at their sport. No, y'all motherfuckers really be racist.
A hit and run. Now, by April of 2025, prosecutors are preparing to present this case to a grand jury. And that's important because apparently in this particular county, there's a policy that all homicides go to a grand jury.
So it's the policy of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office that all homicides go to a grand jury. We were nearing that grand jury.
So even if prosecutors do their investigation and determine they don't want to prosecute the person, in this county, they still have to present it to a grand jury, and the grand jury has to vote on if formal charges should be filed. And that's exactly what happened in this case. The Louisiana State Police did their investigation and presented their findings to the DA's office. And their findings was that Kyren Lacy caused this accident, fled the scene, and should be charged accordingly. But when the DA's office did their investigation, they didn't agree with the findings from the state police.
From the district attorney's office says, the evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Kyren Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him.
But because of the policy, this case still had to be presented with Kyren as the defendant to the grand jury. And at the time, Kyren nor his attorneys knew what the DA's findings were. They just knew his case was going to be presented, and out of that, he could be formally charged. And so, a day before prosecutors are set to present the case to the grand jury, Kyren Lacy takes his own life at the age of 24. After his death, his father wrote a statement on Facebook that read, quote, "Young parents, start talking to your kids at a very early age and make sure they are confident and comfortable confiding in you. Don't be cool with I'm all right or I'm good when you know deep down something isn't right. Mental health is real, and for the most part, it's invisible. Don't ignore the signs, even if they may seem small. Our lives have changed forever, and this will never be okay. But God needed my baby more than he was needed here. This has to be the biggest pill our families have had to swallow, but I know the love and compassion in our families will get us through. This will never get easier, but we'll learn to live with it. Check on your kids' mental." So that's the backstory, and that gets us to where we are today with this latest news.
Again, just real quick, rest in peace to that young man. Like, that shit, just hearing that shit just pissing me the fuck off. Oh my God, this shit making me mad, dog.
That Kyren's attorney, Matt Ory, has uncovered. He recently got the entire file for Kyren's case, which included the investigation done by the state police, as well as the investigation done by the district attorney's office.
I've got everything. I've got every piece of evidence I have viewed. I've examined every piece of evidence, which includes all surveillance, all body cam footage, and most importantly, the investigative report that was generated and manufactured by the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. Their findings after their own investigation. That's what we're here today to present. We're going to compare and contrast those findings with the findings of state police.
And ooh, child. So attorney Matt Ory does acknowledge that Kyren Lacy passed the 4 cars, but the data shows that he passed those cars well before the accident. I'm gonna use my graphics again, so follow me. According to the data, Kyren Lacy passed the cars way back here, and he was already back in his original driving lane before the accident happened. And then the accident happens, and Kyren Lacy is actually a car behind the vehicle that Herman Hall was in.
We know from data that Kyren Lacy did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards, back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. He wasn't even close to the second car. He just eased in.
As Matt Ory digs further into the evidence, he learns that according to the black box data, vehicle number 2, the one that actually collided with Herman Hall's vehicle, was tailgating the gold truck before the gold truck pressed the brake.
Right, so what do I know now about vehicle 2? Vehicle 2 was tailgating, all right, according to the data, tailgating at 49.6 miles an hour behind the gold truck, 1.5 seconds before the crash. Interestingly enough, this vehicle was actually, when this woman was in the ambulance, they issued her a ticket, all right? You know for what? Take a wild guess. Following too close. Fast forward. Another trooper comes and is looking for that particular ticket. And that ticket, they told her, something may happen to the ticket, don't worry about it. Sure enough, something happened to that ticket down the road, right? The ticket now needs to fit a better narrative. And that ticket now says crossing left of center. Why?
Are y'all following this? I hope it's not confusing. Okay, now in addition to learning details about the speed of vehicle number 2, attorney Matt Ory also learns the speed of the gold truck. The gold truck was traveling at 28 miles per hour before he hit his brakes, and he didn't veer to the side of the road until after the accident, which again highlights that if vehicle number 2 is tailgating him at 49 miles per hour, when he hit his brakes, she had no other option but to swerve, or else she was going to hit him.
What he's saying is she had to avoid hitting him. Mm-hmm. He specifically stated she caused that accident.
The data from her black box shows that she hit her brakes 0.5 seconds before the accident and then swerved really hard.
So the 75, the steering input at 75 to the left.
That's correct.
Any indicate that, I would guess 75 on a scale of 100, that's a pretty hard turn to the left.
It's a very hard turn to the left. The gold truck. We know now that 2.99 seconds prior to him pulling off the road, he was traveling 28 miles an hour. 28 miles an hour. Now, you're going to hear his statement in a little while, and it's going to all make sense. But let's be very clear right now for the intent and purposes of what we're doing. Vehicle 2, their data says she is tailgating. She is 0.5 seconds at 49.6 miles an hour. 1.5 seconds before the crash.
Now, of course, the driver of vehicle number 2 was questioned about her version of events. And her version is interesting. The DA's office summarized some of the statements that she made in their report.
He says upon reviewing the body cam video of the trooper from the scene, the following statement was made by, we'll call her vehicle 2, right? Mm-hmm. I just know the truck was stomping on brakes. The other was trying to pass the other car. I was trying to dodge by not hitting him, by coming around. When the trooper asked how fast she was going, she replied the speed limit. He next says, I reviewed the recorded interview and the written statement from Vehicle 2 while she was in the hospital on January 3rd, 2025. Below is a synopsis of that interview. And at very first it says, all I can see is that a car is coming this way and the car in front of me. Right before the crash. I'm looking at the pickup truck in front of me. That's all they see for the moment. I'm eating my Funyuns. I got in the middle of my lap and I'm driving. I'm listening to my music. All of a sudden, I see the car get in the other person's lane. The truck, end quote, steps on his brakes. First, so it slows down, but then he does it again, and this time it's really hard. That's when you can see on the other side the car is trying to get back over. But before he can get over, the truck stops in the middle, like on the brakes, hard. There's another car that runs damn near into the pole. It's either I run into him or I try to get out the way, so I'm trying to get into the dollar store parking lot. Then the other car just comes and slams into me. The trooper asked Vehicle 2, whenever you're looking forward, or the cars in front of you, they swerve off to the right before you make your left, or you're looking at a green Charger coming at you. Or, in end of quotes. Vehicle 2 responded with, the green Charger came, and then the car behind me, behind them, the truck, the van, whatever. The trooper does not ask any further follow-up questions to get a better understanding of what she was saying for this answer. Now, remember, I'm reading what the investigator's saying.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I do want to highlight, and I want to tell people to kind of remember, because I always sit here and say this. I understand a lot of those red states is cheaper to live. So, and of course, in this economy, people want to move to different smaller cities and smaller states because the cost of living is way cheaper. But you always got to remember, them laws is different in them states, and them fucking police ain't going to be in favor to nobody black. Just always remember that. Please remember that. Like, if you're trying to go move to anywhere in Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, further in Virginia, or anywhere, Alabama, any of these places, all of them are a lot cheaper. But please remember that they police and they treat us completely different from if you live somewhere in the upper Northeast.
During this interview with the trooper, Vehicle 2 made several statements that do not match the submitted report or written statement. Instead of questioning Vehicle 2 for more details, the trooper attempted to recap what she was saying, which seems to contradict her statements. While doing this, the trooper is the first to talk about the gold truck swerving off to the right. Then when it came to obtaining the written statement, the trooper tells Vehicle 2 what to document on the statement as she is writing. You watched someone slam on their brakes. You watched them stop. You watched a car charge coming at you in your lane of traffic, but you never thought to just tap the brakes? Really?
Now let's get to the body cam footage. At one point, an officer goes to speak with the driver of the gold truck, and child, the driver says this whole thing is the fault of vehicle number 2.
All right, sir. So, look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, me and my wife gonna figure out right quick.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she caused that wreck. And she was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
Yes, you heard that right. The driver said, I didn't skid mark or nothing because I wasn't even driving fast. The lady in the back of me, she didn't see what was happening. That's how she caused the wreck, because she was going to run in the back of me and she pulled onto that other side. Then the officer responds by telling him to make sure he adds in that he had to slam on his brakes to avoid hitting the charger. Somebody gonna do something, because this is crazy. And it doesn't stop there. The statement that's turned in on behalf of the driver of the gold truck doesn't reflect what he said in that body cam video at all. It's actually a completely different story that wasn't written or signed by him. On the signature line, it actually says refused.
And this is from the gold truck.
This is the gold truck. See, the problem with that statement is it is in direct contravention to what was said minutes earlier. It's not written by him. And where it says signed, it's not signed. It's refused. But you see, when I have a witness who is the most critical, and he's telling you, I wasn't traveling fast. We know now that he wasn't. The data shows 2.99 seconds before that he was traveling 28 miles an hour. And he goes on to say, I didn't even make a skid mark. That woman behind me, she caused that accident. And you give me this statement that is refused? I got a problem. I got a problem with that. A big one.
So you get the point. And if you don't, I'll give you my takeaway, which should not be taken as fact. Basically, the gold truck did hit his brakes as a result of seeing Kyren Lacy on his side of the road. And the vehicle behind the gold truck, vehicle number 2, should have had time to hit her brakes and pull over. But she didn't have time because she was tailgating and traveling so fast that her only option was to veer onto oncoming traffic, resulting in her colliding with the vehicle that 78-year-old Herman Hall was in.
But he had no idea he caused this accident because he didn't think he caused the accident. He didn't cause the accident.
Now again, Kyren Lacy took his life before any of this could play out, but Matt Ory says he's doing this now because he made a promise to Kyren that he got him.
This is about making a promise to a kid who begged you to help him. You make a promise, you follow through on that promise. Mm-hmm. It's nothing more, nothing less to tell the world Kyren Lacy's version. He never got to tell the world his version. His parents had given me a pin of his picture. And at that funeral, I took it home with me, obviously, but as he's sitting there, he had always asked me previous to that, Mr. Matt, you got me, dog? Kyren, I promise you, I got you, dog. So I get home and I took that pin. It's got his picture.
I gotta stop it. I ain't gonna lie to you. This show almost just damn near made me cry, dog. For one, again, shout outs to, and I don't want to, and I know sometimes I be hard on white people, but shout outs to that lawyer because that is a good fucking white man right there, dog. Because he could have literally just said like this over. Like no, I mean, and it's the fucked up thing about, of course, about life and death is, unless it's your immediate family or somebody close to you, like people die, realistically people die every day, and then we'll celebrate them, we'll cry, we'll mourn via social media, thoughts and prayers, and then people just move on with their everyday life. So it could have been easily, this lawyer could have just been like, all right, the kid, you know what I'm saying, he killed himself, whatever case may be, he's not here. He could have just let it go, and he didn't. Bro, I respect that so much, because what he just said, my word was my word. I respect that lawyer so fucking much for sitting here still fighting to really come out and push the actual true fucking facts and story, just for the fact that people who sit here and was so hard on this fucking kid to sit here now got to fucking come on social media and apologize. You got to come and eat your fucking words, because that shit, and that be the shit I'm talking about, where it's like, people be so hard, and I'm talking about people be so fucking hard and so hard to criticize people and crucify them on social media. And again, I know it's only social media, you can put your phone down, but again, like I said, it's easier to say that when you older than it is to just do it when you are a younger person. No shit, even for somebody who, if you older and you actually just use social media for business purposes, that shit it's way harder to put down than it actually is. It's easy to say it, but it's hard. But I want to get your opinion, I guess, as parents. What's your thoughts on how you feel about it? Just whatever's on your mind after listening to all of that. And then I'll play that. Like I said, I do want to play this white dude real quick, breaking it down with the boss dude stuff.
I mean, as a parent, it's unfortunate. Like, your heart goes out to them, because he took his life for something he probably thought was his fault.
And that's the fucked up part.
He probably thought that maybe he couldn't live with the fact that somebody died, and he actually thought it was his fault. And that was just too much for him to bear. And as parents, like, you can ask your kids all the time, are you okay? How you doing? So you can't really, I mean, I don't think nobody's blaming the parents, but you can't blame the parents. Like, sometimes your kids just don't tell you everything.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you definitely can't blame the parents, because I'm sure, like, again, because you don't know what he was going through. You don't know because again, you sit here and think about it as a kid. You sitting here trying so hard to make it to the NFL, especially if football has been your life. Because of course, especially when we talk about that, I jokingly talk about that, where just them, you talking about them red states again, they're so heavily on, hey, it's God, and then it's football, and then it's our guns. It's so you got those type of things where I can only imagine. I've been playing football my whole entire life. Like, he's from Louisiana, so you sit here saying I'm playing at LSU and this and the third. And real quick, I seen people going OD ham on LSU too, because they was like, it's crazy how y'all took a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, but this news been out. Y'all had a game on Saturday, and y'all didn't sit here and y'all ain't post nothing. Y'all ain't take no sound. Y'all ain't do nothing for one of y'all own players, and there you see clear as day that, like, so again, like I said, rest in peace to this young man. Damn, that shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's just such a, I hope that the parents can sue whatever, I guess, the county they in, or whatever the department. I'm sure, again, because this is a small town, I'm sure you're not going to be able to get no crazy. Like, if this was like in New York City or DC or somewhere like a major city, or California somewhere, where you could really get a bag off of one of these police departments. So, because it's like, it's damn near, it's almost like you have to play some part in the unwrongly death with this one. Because you can't sit here, like, that police officer can't get scot-free. Like, this on your body cam, you sitting here telling a witness to change their statement. But like, that shit, like, how the fuck is that even fair?
It's not like that. But they, like, that's why, like, I know I tell my kids, like, and I always tell them, don't sign nothing. Like, don't never sign nothing. Don't admit to nothing, like, none of that. Because I've been in a situation where they try to put words in somebody's mouth. Like, no, that's not what was said. Like, they do it a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
And
like,
you got it on camera now, so you should be able to do something. They should be able to do.
No,
something.
yeah, they got to be able. They have to be able to sue. But again, like I said, because it's such a small, like one of them small towns, it's like, whatever money you get from them, it ain't gonna be enough to bring your kid back. But then it's not even enough where, how, like, we would sit here and talk about sometimes when people were like, what was it, boy who passed away at the amusement park, and his family ended up getting like $350. You're not about to get that from no fucking small ass police department like that. And then they gonna sit here and try to blame it and act like they don't have nothing to do with it. I'm sure they're gonna try to spin it, but again, that police department is so small, I can't even imagine them getting something. I'm just, again, man, shout out to that lawyer though. He's a real nigga for that, dog.
Someone who does not feel there is systemic institutional racism in the United States that damages and/or takes lives every single day, please take 90 seconds and listen to the story of Kyren Lacy, and also listen to the story of how the internet directly contributed to his death. Kyren was born in Thibodaux, Louisiana, went to Thibodaux High before signing on to play football at University of Louisiana, Lafayette. Transferred to LSU, break out as a star, and on December 19th, 2024, he would declare for the 2025 NFL Draft. On December 17th of 2024, he was in the area area of an accident that took the life of a local Louisiana man named Herman Hall. There are many stories floating around with a lot of news outlets saying that he was weaving in and out of traffic, or even that he struck one of the vehicles. January 10th, 2025, the Louisiana State Police issued a warrant. He was charged with negligent homicide, felony hit and run with death, and reckless operation of a vehicle. Race baiters like Jack Mack at Barstool decided to tweet this picture of him recreating a celebration on the sidelines for his teammate and say, shocking. The implication here is, oh, look at this violent kid, he must be guilty, right? A lot of the internet did this and ran with the narrative of guilty until proven innocent, right? Jack got very upset that someone quote tweeted him and called him a racist. See, the thing is, Jack, this is what you do. You jump on any opportunity to race bait, like the Chicago light rail attack when a mentally ill man took a woman's life tragically. You said in this video, this should be national news. Every single grifter across the country did talk about this. It was national news. Do you want to know the kind of stories you and the national media actually ignore, Jack? Stories like the one of Matthew Ruth. Matthew was a 24-year-old Pennsylvania man who was stalking a woman, so the police were called. He set up an ambush for them, and he executed 3 officers with an assault rifle. All 3 of these men were fathers. 2 of them in their career had broken into a burning building to save someone's life. They got executed by this little psycho, and all the grifters were silent. Don't you back the blue, Jack? This guy had looked different, Jack. Would you have talked about this one? You jumped on Kyren Lacy, right? A young man who had just came out, did absolutely fucking nothing wrong. A young man that was going to be in the NFL.
And I don't know what Gillian Wallow's situation with Barstool is now, but again, I think niggas kind of off the rip looked at them kind of funny with the Barstool shit after that LSU Iowa game, and the nigga who owned Barstool came out and said whatever he said about Angel Reese. Niggas kind of looked at them funny for that, and they try to fake like they checked the nigga. Again, like sometimes all money ain't good money, and as I don't give a fuck what you do or how poor you are, how down bad you are. No, if you are black and you create content in the sports space or whatever the fuck you call yourself, bro, you take money from Barstool, you a fuck nigga. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't think I'm from the last. I haven't watched. I couldn't tell you last time I watched $1 million worth of game, but I don't even. It seems like when they do their videos now, they don't even be in a space with. I don't even know if they still advertise the Barstool shit on there. But I'm not gonna. I've been thought Gillian Wallow was on some goofy shit off of that one alone. But again, I just don't. And they was the only. And the crazy thing is, Gillian Wallow literally was the only 2 black motherfuckers on Barstool outside of fucking Pat Beverly. And Pat Beverly's married to a white woman, so I mean that self-explanatory.
Because Kyren's lawyer, Matthew Uri, has not let this go. He went to the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office and he asked for their investigation to compare to that of the state police. He did a 45-minute interview with HTV that I highly encourage everyone to go watch, and he laid out all of the evidence that disproves everything that has been said throughout 2025. Here's the actual video of the accident. He was in the green Charger. He was 72.6 yards behind the accident when it happened.
Very important because we're trying to locate this.
All right, he kind of repeated the rest of the stuff. I just wanted to. I thought he went more into detail on the Barstool stuff. But again, like I said, rest in peace to that young man. His my thoughts and prayers to his parents, because I can know like that kind of just. I can't even imagine that you getting that information now, and then that probably even make you question and probably get even more upset because now you know that your kid didn't do it and know for a fact that your kid took their life, and you like, damn, if you could have just waited and actually took it to trial and got to see what was going on. Like I'm sure finding out all of this information and now you kind of live with a bunch of what ifs and make you kind of just question everything again. Like I said, rest in peace to them, and definitely thoughts and prayers to his mom and dad, because I know that's like super crazy to deal with. I guess